So, do you want to know one of the best and easiest ways to boost your paper grades? Rock solid intro and conclusion paragraphs. So in this video, which is part one of a two-part series, I will be walking you through step by step how to create those slam dunk intro paragraphs. And in part two, which if it's out, the video will be right up here, I will be walking you through step by step how to make those conclusion paragraphs exactly what you need to get that grade. Now, during these videos, I will be walking through a PDF template that I have created for this purpose. If you would like to grab yourself a copy and work along with me, the link is right in the description and it is totally free. First, here's what not to do. So how should you start? Let's find out. All right, so we're here in the document. So first we've got the opening sentence. And as I say here, this is a balance between actually being related to your paper topic, but also being relevant and meaningful to a general reader. I have an example here. If our topic is mental health services on college campuses, and we might start our paper with, over the past decade, mental health concerns have risen among nearly every demographic group, and college students are no exception. So things to notice here, it starts broad, relevant to nearly everyone. Mental health concerns have risen among every demographic group, right? And then it quickly narrows to the topic of interest, college student mental health, right? So this is where you would try, based on your specific assignment, to draft a really strong hook sentence for your paper. The next thing you write in your introductory paragraph is something to back up the hook statement that you just crafted. So typically this is something factual or maybe a quote from an original source, often with some sort of statistic to really add credibility to your opening statement. And as I say here, this might also be where you provide an initial definition or clarify something to make sure your reader is on the same page with you. So continuing our example, between 2013 and 2021, rates of depression among college students increased 135%, while rates of anxiety increased 110%. And then you put in that citation. Now, one thing to notice here, that giving those specific dates and numbers helps your reader and your prof know you actually did some research here and you're not kind of blowing stuff out your butt, right? The third sentence is real life context. If we're following this, between 2013 and 2021, these rates increased. Although these rates were already climbing, the appearance of the COVID-19 pandemic and resulting campus shutdowns and general uncertainty significantly accelerated the trajectory. So again, adding context to those rising rates. Once you have your hook, your backup statement, and your context, you draft the runway for your thesis statement or topic sentence. So think of this as a transition from that general hook to the really specific thing that this exact paper is about. So continuing our example, we just wrote, COVID significantly accelerated the trajectory. We come down here and continue. Thankfully, the stigma attached to seeking mental health services in college has declined during the same period. So the stigma has declined. This means that although more students are experiencing mental health issues, that's that stat we already mentioned, more of them are also seeking services. So we've now transitioned from general mental health to specific mental health services on college campuses, which again is our topic. Number 5. This is usually the final sentence in the introductory paragraph, and it sets up the structure and the focus for the paper itself. Okay, so usually it gives the reader an idea of what to expect in the rest of the paper. So if we are just doing a topic or a question, we might make this final sentence something like, so what can college mental health offices do to make their services even more accessible and effective for students? Let's take a look at 3 successful campus mental health programs to see what they are doing right. Notice that 3 successful programs help give structure to your paper. You know exactly where you need to go. Your reader knows exactly where you will be going. And this makes it so much easier, both for you in the writing process and for the reader as they are reading, or in the case of your prof, grading. If we have a thesis where we are actually making an argument and then the paper sets out to defend that argument, we might have this final sentence in the introductory paragraph read something like, to effectively meet this rising need, campus mental health centers must expand their offerings to include not only traditional in-person therapy, but also online services and structured group therapy services. So really let yourself narrow in on what you need this final statement to say, because this is often the crux, and papers with a weak or missing thesis or topic statement do not do well when it comes to that grade. And here we have our final paragraph. So I've put this in a form that it might look like in a paper, so you get a feel for about how long it is. It's about half a page, and I've split it up by color so you can see each of the 5 steps represented. Down here, you see the beginning of the conclusion paragraph, which we'll obviously get to in the part 2 video. So I'll see you over there.